Hi guys, in today's video we are going to be creating a chat application in Flutter using the ZEGOCLOUD chat SDK. Our basic application will be able to send messages in real time, show notifications of those messages as pop-ups, and share media, images, and documents as well. Our basic application will also be able to create groups. You can create groups of users, you can join new groups, and basic functionality like this. So ZEGOCLOUD Chat SDK provides a plethora of options. You can explore them on the ZEGOCLOUD's official in-app chat website. And with this, let's get right into the video. Says first of all, open up your ZEGOCLOUD console. You can search for ZEGOCLOUD on Google. Here I have opened the website for ZEGOCLOUD. As you can see, it offers multiple products like video calling, live streaming application, conferencing kits, and a lot more features. I'm interested in the chat application, so I'm selecting that and start building. It will ask you to sign up and log in. Once you are done with this, simply create a chat application project, name your project. After naming this project, you will find your project created in the ZEGOCLOUD console. Now there is some configuration you need to set up, so go to service management, search for the in-app chat, and hit activate. After activating, just wait for 10 to 15 minutes, your application should be activated. Once activated, you can just refresh the page and you will be able to see your dashboard just like this. Now moving on to some coding. For writing the code, I am going to use the Visual Studio Code, and I'll be heading over to this article by ZEGOCLOUD itself. I'll share the link to this in the description. So it is a chat SDK based on UI components which are fully customizable. As you can see in their screenshots, it also gives you some resources like quick start, component overview, and things like this. So I'm hitting to quick start. So in quick start, we are going to be configuring our Flutter project with ZEGOCLOUD Chat SDK. So before doing anything else, let's just create a new Flutter project. So I'm opening a new window in VS Code here. Create a new Flutter project, hit Ctrl+Shift+P, and I'm selecting empty application here. Just name the application. And once your Flutter project is created, I'm going to delete the Windows, Linux, and web folders because I don't need those in this video. After this, let's get started with the integration. So let's open these side by side. So the first step is to install the ZEGOCLOUD Chat SDK, that is Zemkit. So just copy paste this command, flutter pub add ZEGOZimKit. It will install this package and also add it to the dependencies in your pubspec.yaml. The next thing you want to do is initialize this SDK. Copy the initialization part and put it in your main function. Now you might need to import this. So once your application is installed, you can simply get the import automatically using the extension. So as you see, my application package has been installed. Now I can simply get the imports automatically. Now I need to put app ID and app signature. So I'll create a secret file and import those from there. I'll just create two variables. Alright, as you can see, there is some error. there is still some error even after importing these. So I forgot that app ID should be integer and your app signature should be string. So let's change those from variable to their respective data types. So you need to copy and paste this from your ZEGOCLOUD console. You will get your app ID and your app signature from a ZEGOCLOUD console. Simply paste it here in your secret file. I'll do that off the screen so that I don't share my credentials on the internet. So take a moment and just copy and paste into the secret file. If you don't, your project will not work. Okay. So kindly do not skip this step. Now moving on, we need to go ahead with the rest of the integration. The first step is to change the compile SDK version to 33. This would be in your Android app build.gradle file. Android app build.gradle file. Simply search for compile SDK version and change its version to 33. This should be fine. Now the second thing, you need to change the minimum SDK version to 21. Now for the next step, we need to add permissions in the Android manifest.xml file, which is present in your Android app source main. And there you go. You can simply copy paste these. Also make sure to add these permissions between your manifest and application tag. Many times I've seen developers being confused where to put these permissions, so that would be between your manifest and application tag. Now the next step is to create a ProGuard.rules file for preventing code obfuscation in your release build. For that, we are going to create a new file in this given directory, that is Android and app. And simply following instructions here as they written in this article. Again, the link to this article will be in the description box. Simply create the file and paste the content. Now we need to add this file to our build.gradle as well. So head on to Android app build.gradle. Android app build.gradle. And put this into your release build types. So here you go. I've just pasted this in. Now before moving on, there is one more step that we need to do. It is not mentioned in the article. I just faced this error and happened to have solved this through some Stack Overflow answer. So I'm pointing it out here. You need to add this last 3-4 lines in the build.gradle file. I'll paste these into some description or the comments. Once you paste the configuration.all, you're done with the configuration setup. Now I'll simply open up my emulator and try to run this project, and hopefully it will work just fine. So here my project has started on my emulator. As you can see, there is hello world written over there. It's just an empty application. Now after all this hassle, let's move into the actual coding part. Now we are going to create the UI, create the interface through which we will call the SDK and create our chat application. So we are already 10 minutes into the video right now. Alright, so let's start. First of all, I'll simply create a few more files. Those would be, first of all, the login page. I'll create a login page .dart file. After creating this file, I'll simply copy and paste some code here. Don't worry, I'll explain each and every part of this code. I just don't want to extend this video to an hour length, right? That's why I've just pasted this part. I've taken this from GitHub and some official documentation, some of it. I'll create another file here that is homepage dot file, and I'll also paste in some code here. By the way, this entire repo I'll make it public on GitHub, so you can simply copy from my GitHub repo, or maybe I'll also link to the official documentation one. So if you want some additional functionality, you can always check the example code there. We create another file called as homepage popup.dart. I'm also pasting some code over here. There we go. We have code for all the three files. Let's handle some errors. So the error is related to this import from where I have copied this code. Let me remove that import and get a fresh one. And simply including this import statements for my current repository. And there we go, we don't have any errors now. If you are also doing it like this with me, once you have pasted all the code, you need to restart your application. Otherwise, your code will not work. Also, in the main file, I need to call the login page, right? So after importing login page and restarting your application, we should be good to go. Please make sure to restart your application, alright? Now we should have our login interface. Our login page should be ready. Now before proceeding to how the application actually interacts, let me explain you the code. Now I have opened up the login page.dart file. As you can see, this is a stateful widget. It contains two text editing controllers, that is user ID controller and username controller, since we have two text fields. Now it is a basic structure. We have a scaffold over here, an app bar which contains the title Flutter Chat app. After this stuff, we have the main body of our application, which I have wrapped in a single child scroll view. And moving on to the main content, I have two fields, text form fields. One is for user ID. Also, I've assigned the controllers here. Please make sure you assign the controllers if you're writing this down. User ID controller and username controller. Then the third thing which I have over here is this elevated button as the actual logging button, which actually connects the user to the SDK. So inside of it, I'm just connecting the user using the SDK.connect user. I'm giving him the text ID, a username ID, and username. So I'm giving both the things, user ID and the username. Now after connection is being secured, I need to push a new screen, that is the home page. And inside of the home page, I'm simply passing the username so that we can display it there. So it was that simple. The login page is the simplest part, I would say. Even the remaining application, it's not that complex. I'll just break it down for you and it will be very easy. Now let's move on to the next page. So before that, I'll just log in. I'm writing 123 and username. After login, you can see the home page over here, which is currently empty because there are no chats. So let me go to this home page. Home page is again a stateful widget. And in the state class, it contains a simple hi, username. Username we have passed down from the login page, if you recall, just a few seconds earlier. And this home page pop-up menu is the one which creates new chats, new groups, and the third option to join a group, right? Now the body of this thing is very, very simple. The ZEGOCLOUD chat SDK already provides you with a conversation list view, which will list down all the conversations that are going on for this particular user. And on clicking the particular conversation in the list items menu, which I'll show you in just a second, you need to push a message list page. so that conversations messages will be displayed. So this is the basic structure. You have a conversation list view, and in the list you will have the individual chats, and when you click a single chat, you will create a list page for that, and you need to pass a conversation ID. For example, let me create a new chat over here. So from the pop-up menu, I'll simply go to new chat. I can even create new groups, which I'll show later on. In the new chat, I need to provide the user ID for the second user from which I want to chat. I'm putting 1234. Hit OK and simply send a message. Now, since the user does not exist right now in our dashboard, so this message will not be delivered. Once our second user is registered, I'll register it by the name Doraemon with the same user ID. Then we'll be able to communicate between the two users. So now you see that there is a message list, right? This is what I was talking about. The conversation list view. This is the list view. There can be multiple such items, right? You can simply create this over here. You can create a new group. We have controllers for all these things in the home page pop-up buttons. You have user ID controller, we have group name controller, group users controller, group ID controller. Since these are all text fields, right? So we have controllers for all of these text fields. Also for the actual functionality of these buttons, new chat, new group and join group, these are very standard pre-built UI that is given to us through the SDK. As you will see, the pop-up menu items. The first item is the new chat, which is displaying this show default new peer chat dialog, which is the default. Second one shows the new group chat dialog, and third one shows the join group dialog. These are the basic UIs, pre-built UIs that you get. You can even get the fine-tuning version of this. You can customize this according to your needs. For that, you need to check the documentation. ZEGOCLOUD Chat SDK is highly customizable, and you can create your own beautiful UIs instead of these default ones. But if you just want to test them, they're there with you, right? Functionality is baked in. You just need to modify it according to your user interface. Now, since I have explained most of the code, I have explained how the application is working, I'm simply creating a new device so that I can show you the chat feature in action. That is what we are here for, right? So let me open another emulator, another Flutter emulator. Once our emulator is opened, I'll simply reorganize my screen. We have two basic devices that will use our application to communicate with each other, right? So let me run our application on the second device as well. I'll simply go to run and run without debugging. So as you can see, I've started my application in my second device. Once the application launches, I'll simply enter the 1234 ID to which I sent message earlier and log in with that. So let me just type in 1234. And what did I name this? I reckon I named this Doraemon, right? 1234 and Doraemon. Log in. Since this user was not created so far, the previous message would not be delivered. As you can see, a red cross right beside the message. I'll send a new message now from Nobita's account, and you will see that Nobita has sent a new message to Doraemon, and Doraemon just received this message. I can text back. It all works in real time. I can also share images, media and documents. I can create groups, I can join a new group, I can delete users, I can create add or join, make admins and do pretty cool stuff with this. This is just a basic demo of this ZEGOCLOUD Chat SDK in which I have shown you how to create a basic chat application within 20 to 25 minutes. I guess right now it would be 20th minute or something. And with this, we are done with our application and this tutorial. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.